Hello friends, it's Russ. I'm playing this game, like I think I've been playing this for like 2 weeks. It's called Arknights Endfield, and essentially it's an open world or open world instance game. It's, you know, gotcha fighting, that sort of RPG sort of thing. Trying to find stuff to fight properly. Just to show this portion really quick. Howling Wolf, I do not care about you. I'm trying to find like the regular people to fight just so I can show the combat before I go to the factory stuff. Because the factory stuff is what I care about the most at this moment in time. Where are all the enemies? Where are the humanoids? There we go. Yay.
This is
Bring it on! You're fighting me!
Don't mind me. I'll give you
A various types of skills. You have your standardized attacks. Then you have your skills, and then you have your ultimates. Obviously, not obviously. When you use enough
Bring it on!
skills,
You're fighting me!
Don't mind me. I'll keep up with you.
and you build up your meter, and your ultimate. I'm trying to right now listen to the number of points to build up the character's ultimate that using it now. Like myself, ultimate, just use skills.
Ready to report!
There are various ways to like fight here. I feel like that there's some hey guys, use some
We've
special
done
skill
it.
to fight. And,
Hope you're
and
not
help me in
tired, Mr.
battles.
Dolly.
So, that's fun.
Something ain't Wasn't expecting anything less.
Because I want to like
I knew we
sort
could
of
do
show
it.
the dodge mechanic, and I'm trying to make this kind of, well, this is gonna be kind of long, kind of short. But I figured if I show off the combat, I can at least explain that before I go to the factory stuff. Because I feel like the factory explanation might be a little long.
This ain't together.
I can do my old stuff. Hold up. I need to. While I'm doing daily quests just to get stuff done. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's flowers. God dang it. Whatever.
Hear that sound?
Bring it on! You're fighting me!
Once known, be dead.
Outstanding performance!
Just as I predicted.
And
We've done it.
that's
Hope you're not
most
tired, Mr. Dolly.
That for combat. I want to go.
I
talk
wouldn't
about
expect
the factory. So, I'm gonna teleport to my factory, and I'm gonna see if I can make a succinct explanation on this. So, let me just get to outside the factory just to show what it can kind of look like as you play the game for like I'd say a couple days. I played only for like 2 weeks since it's been out, so this is about 2 weeks of progress on the main hub of the factory. I don't understand the science. I don't care about the pseudoscience they use to explain this shit. I just like playing and playing with numbers and making factory stuff. Now, essentially, with the way the game plays is that I'm gonna just go into the factory just so I can enable a certain viewing mode, and I'm gonna swap to top view. As you can see, up top in the center, it'll see an enter top view, and so we get a nice bird's eye view on the top. I'm gonna zoom out so I can show you everything. And I'm going to explain some functions of the machines to the best of my ability to explain like what feeds into this in order to, you know, make the machines do stuff and help power stuff and do other things for the factory and various other machines that you're going to be placing out into this world to mine further stuff. So we have a varied amount of materials that we can find in the world. And there's lots of them. There's just multitudes of like plants, powders, stones, etc. And then there's the stuff that you can manufacture with the machines that will be coming into play. So let's say you got enough materials and you start off with like Original material to start off with. You'll probably end up with a lot of it because there's a lot of it nearby. There's like mining machines and a bunch of other stuff Actually, let me go poke over to that machine just so I can kind of show and like give a nuanced explanation on it. Let me just exit the view and whatever. So, because this is, if you look here, that big towery thing, that's your first like factory center point that would like have and house all your materials. That's where it is. And here are obviously, this says electric mining rig. It's mining the materials for you. The originium, which is like, you know, it's your starter material to like, you know, make cool stuff with. So now let me get back to the factory. Shift to the view. Yeah, they call it the core AIC area. So that it's, I forget what the acronym AIC was because I just go like, okay, cool, it's the factory. So with the machines, you will have a resource. Resource will feed into a machine, and the machine will feed possibly into another machine to output some items. So in this case, I'm turning this particular instance ferrium ore and refining it to something called ferrium. And with this ferrium, I'm taking this material into this molding unit, and this ferrium will become a ferrium bottle at a certain like ratio to, you know, output. Like I have to put in this much to output one of this, or maybe
You're always
like one
staring
of
in
these
that direction.
outputs to something else.
What's over there?
And these bottles
Perfect
are going to go
hiding spots.
into this filling unit, which means that like for a ratio of 10 bottles and 10 buckwheat flour powder, if I can speak English, or whatever this is, buck flour powder, if I could, you know, the ratio is 10 and 10 equals 1 of this buck capsule seed, which is some sort of health item thing for like your characters when you're in battles. But I've been just using the powders. That's something else. And now I've explained one half of how you get it. I'm going to explain the other half. So usually it takes your base resource going through a multitude of machines in order to output certain stuff. So in this case, let's say we needed buck flour powder, but this all comes from essentially buck flour getting picked off and turning into a bunch of seeds. And then with my seeds, I'm outputting in two directions. I'm creating sort of an Ouroboros with this seed picking unit, and then next to it, a planting unit, which is creating the same thing to like, you know, feed it and constantly output. But since this outputs two, I can make this go into two directions and just feed it all equally. So one still feeds me infinitely and can keep this going forever. And then I can feed one into here to output to making the powder itself, because it's the seed that turns into the flour. And then the flour goes into a shredder, which makes powder. And then this powder goes into this thing where the bottles are going in order to make this buck capsule. So, like I said, I like this because I've been just trying to like make it as efficient as I can, or like I'm just trying to make stuff and I kind of just like ramshackle all this crap together, and it's just like I'm just trying to finesse it to the best of my ability. And so just to give you a general idea of how this looks, it's just like, you know, I'm outputting a lot of machines, I'm putting a lot of product into this, whether it's like creating things to power my base, which you can look up on your own if you want. And other people have better explained this than I have. They're like, literally, I'm making things that make batteries, and from my depot that holds all this stuff, this big towery thing. See, this big lot here is like the towery thing that I was talking to you about earlier. That holds all our stuff, and then, you know, there's just a lot more things feeding into other stuff to send it to the depot or sending it to somewhere else. And this explanation has been at least 9 minutes, so I'm gonna stop it here. Hopefully this is enough to at least kind of get you to be like, oh, maybe I can watch a different video to say someone would better explain it, or maybe this is good enough and you're like, I want to give this a try. I'll link this in the description. If you want to, go play it. If not, have a good day. Catch you later. Bye.